Sarvacitami prayata sarvakarma dhyane sriyam o bhagavana sarvatata patrapatra ma samaya sato matra sato samaya mana palaya matra sato junova sato ayo mi bawa naroto mi bawa sarvacitami prayata sarvakarma sriyam Sarvata Patrapana Patrapama Samaya Sato Samaya Mana Palaya Pada Sato Sarvata Nibrayaka Sarvakama Satame Sarvata Patrapana Patrapama Patrapama Samaya Sato
Why you don't look? Bagaimana sarana terdekat Samaya Satu Samaya mana palaya pada satu Anarato di bawah sarana terdekat sarana kami Sriyam bagaimana sarana terdekat Samaya Satu Antara Satu Samaya mana palaya pada satu Tani Sriyam Koro Bagaimana sarana terdekat antara satu samaya mana palaya di bawah setengah di bawah di bawah naroto di bawah sarana di palaya sarana Sriyam sarana terdekat sama terbawa mas samaya satu samaya mana palaya pada satu jenama tidak bawah sebuah kaya Anarato di bawah sarana di palaya sarana Tani Sriyam Kata bermain mentah pada bawah mas samaya satu samaya mana satu jenama Kaya di bawah, di bawah, Anarato di bawah sarana di palaya sarana Bagaimana sarana terdekat bermain mentah pada bawah mas samaya satu samaya pada satu jenama Anarato di bawah sarana di palaya sarana Tani Sriyam bagaimana sarana terdekat kami mentah pada bawah mas samaya
chuchok namba hanjila shikela madarinde dongjindo tangbo tangbo chinga lo nga tusu ngani shok tada dana re naya talo mo yung bato talo yes me tada shokso yang usuma power na kana sa tada chino ngara jaji korka yakuri sanne tada nga 용기 더 나오고 들었습니다.
To begin with here today, His Holiness is saying that he was invited to come here by Gyalta Rinpoche actually some 5 or 6 years ago, but it wasn't until this year that he had the opportunity to come, and this is primarily because the temple was completed and it seemed like the opportune time to make the trip out here, according to Rinpoche's request. And so this is why he has come. And he's very happy to have the opportunity to come together here today with everyone and to meet everyone and share this event. First of all, since His Holiness was requested to give refuge vows, this is what he will do first, is bestow the vows of refuge. Now the reason for taking refuge is basically that it is the distinction of whether one is a Buddhist or not. And so to become a Buddhist means that one must accept and embrace the vows of refuge. Now in Buddhism we have 2 basic vehicle divisions. We have the vehicle of the lower or lesser spiritual pursuit, the Hinayana, and then we have the greater pursuit, the Mahayana. Now the basic difference is the motivation itself. And when it comes to taking refuge, the basic motivation is, in both cases, the renunciation of cyclic existence and the wish to be liberated, to be set free from cyclic existence. So this is the motivation that we must have. Now, cyclic existence, korwa, means the experience of simply revolving or rotating in and out of the 6 classes of rebirth.
that don't let something for your nare. Then draw a root to the don't let me pass study on the money. Come on, so that don't let around in the red.
Now, of these 6 classes of rebirth, even if one is reborn as a god or a human being, although there are periods of happiness, they too are exhausted. And we might think that if we're reborn as a god, then it's truly a blissful rebirth and very happy, but one day it will be over. And when it is over, the suffering of knowing that it is over is unbearable. And like that, wherever one is born, in any of the 6 classes, the nature is suffering. It really leads to only one thing, and that is discontent. That's the nature of it. Recognizing then that wherever we are born in these 6 classes of cyclic existence, the nature of that experience will be discontent or suffering, then the Hinayanas would develop a sense of fear towards the 3 lower realms in particular, the hell realm, the hungry spirit realm, and the animal realm, and have a very strong wish to never be reborn there again, and take refuge with that intention in mind. And this is basically the path of the Hinayanist. The Mahayanist, on the other hand, is afraid of all 6 classes of rebirth and wishes to be free from rebirth in any of the 6 classes. Now, to have this thought, to be free from rebirth in the 6 classes for oneself alone, is really not sufficient for the Mahayanist. However, if we really think about it, then basically we do think of ourselves first. Even verbally, we would say, if I die, I don't want to be afraid at the moment of death. And mentally, we also think, when I die, I don't want to be afraid of what's to come. We think about what's going to happen to ourselves. This is a natural thing. However, for a Mahayanist, it is really not suitable to only think about oneself.
파당 미 드신 좋고 요래.
A Mahayanist will not be thinking only of themselves. They will think of all sentient beings. And the reason is because at one time or another, over the course of all of our countless past lifetimes, each and every sentient being has been our own father, our own mother, many times over. And yet, it is difficult for us to believe or accept this because we can't remember our past lifetimes just now. And so we can't remember the great kindness that these parent sentient beings have shown us time and time again. But in fact, it is true that this is exactly what they have been to us. They've given us our life. And since it is so, we must consider all sentient beings to have been kind to us as our own parents in the past.
Namki karchap simchang ke cham yoti simchang chikchang mali pa tene roa tukko tukwarli torwar shagi chekto tene ni chapsun ro de yan samji tene kulhong se na simchang ko na kulhong ta das te cheku yores.
According to the way of the Dharma, then we consider even our worst enemy is also our father, our mother, because they have been that in the past. So temporarily they appear to be our enemy in this life, but we recognize that in fact they have been extremely kind to us in the past. And so by focusing upon that, we should consider all of our enemies and our mother and father and all sentient beings on our right, left, and in front of us, that we are surrounded by all sentient beings without exception who are equal and who have been kind to us. And with the motivation to free all of them from the suffering of the 6 classes of existence, we should aspire to take the vows of refuge at this moment with the purest motivation to set all sentient beings free from the suffering of cyclic existence. This is the manner for receiving refuge. The object of our refuge has different variations according to the 9 vehicles. There are actually different ways of considering the objects of refuge. But putting all that aside and going straight to the point, to cite an example, if we have an enemy who is causing us harm and we're afraid of that enemy, we're afraid for our life, we would look to someone who could protect us or help us from that enemy, to save us from this fear. So, for example, that way of thinking, when we apply it to the spiritual path, in order to really learn how to accomplish the spiritual path, the Dharma, we need a guide. We need a guide because we've already established the fact that cyclic existence is a place of suffering, and we're afraid of cyclic existence because in a future lifetime, we don't know where we're going to go. If we have no practice, no awareness, we can be reborn in the lower realms, in the hell realm, animal realm. We have no way of knowing where our next place of rebirth will be. And so we're afraid of that state of not knowing. Yet to only be afraid and have fear is of no benefit. That's just a perception. We need to find an object that has the power, the potency, to actually show us the path and give us true protection. And according to the path of Buddhism, the object is threefold, the 3 precious jewels: Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And it is certain that Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha combined have the full potency or strength to show us the path that leads to liberation from the 6 realms of cyclic existence. And so, knowing this, placing our hope and our expectation in these 3 jewels only, so that we place ourselves below their protection and their refuge. This is the way that we should view our objects.